that we need to navigate. And yeah, that helps us in making this transition smoother. So we might have to, many of us might have to move or to travel to a new country for different reasons. Either we're going there for work opportunity, or if we're going there for further studies, or if we're going there as a trailing spouse, or if we're going there, parents are following their children. The move can be either short term or long term, depending on our situation and the need. But what are the things that we can prepare beforehand, or we can do the things that will help us in being better planned and understanding what are the challenges that there will be, and how we can ensure that the transition will be easier for us. So first thing, it always helps in researching the city or the country that we are moving to, understanding specifics such as what the weather condition is going to be like there. So it is definitely going to be a completely different weather pattern there. For example, if you're moving, when I was moving to the US, it was the first time that I was going to experience the extreme weather, the winter, heavy winter there. And I wasn't prepared for it. So it helps to understand these basic specific things, and to buy those warm clothings beforehand. Or if you're going there for a short period of time, it also makes sense for us to either borrow those clothes from friends or people that we can, if there is a possibility. It is more reasonable, at the same time more sustainable, and also helps us, yes, be it clothes. For example, if we are going to a country where there can be chances of snowfall, so buying snow boots, being prepared with that as well helps. At the same time, the specific weather requirement. Yes. Hello.
Please go ahead. Maybe some internet issue.
Okay. Is it fine now?
I think we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay, great. So, and at times it also helps in buying these specific, for example, heavy winter jackets or snow boots, for example, in the country itself, not in India, because those are better built for the specific conditions that we are going to face in the new country. The second thing would be language. So, of course, in a lot of countries, it's useful to communicate in English, and English can help us in navigating our everyday lives. But in some countries, in some places, we might need to know the local language, the language that's spoken there, to be able to even communicate for basic needs, for daily needs. So, but it's not possible to learn the language beforehand or, within a short period of time. And so we can make use of the tools that are available to us. For example, we can download Google Translate, and we can also download that specific language, so that even if we are not connected to the internet, we can use Google Translate and be able to communicate. For example, if you're lost on the road, we should be able to speak to somebody and navigate our way back home. Or if we are at the grocery store, if we are looking for something, we should be able to communicate. So this will be useful there. The other thing would be currency. So currency, of course, would be different. And it's always useful to speak to a bank in India at home, and understand what the exchange rate is going to be for each transaction that we're going to make there till we can open a bank account in the new country. And carrying some cash with us, or there are other options also available, like the traveler check. But it always makes sense to go through the bank, and uh, uh, it's authentic. And at the same time, if we make the currency exchange there in the new country, it can turn out to be very expensive. So we will save a lot of money if we do this beforehand and be prepared. And so other things to keep in mind include, the safety rules and regulations that we're going to come across in this new place. So each country has its own set of rules and regulations for navigating our lives, and it's important to understand what those are, research them beforehand, and be prepared with them. And at the same time, it helps to connect with people who are already been there or who are living there through common connections, common friends, common relatives, or if we know somebody already there. It always helps to connect with them beforehand, to understand, get an overview from them, or even details about specifics. What can be useful for us to prepare, take as basic as, what can we carry along with us that can be useful there. So these are some of the things to do beforehand. At the same time, we would need to have our documentation in place. So ensuring, our passport has a validity of 6 months at least to get the visa. What are the documents required for the visa process? If we're going through our company, then understanding what different certifications and documentation the company does the company require, or the university requires, and preparing and getting them in order. Having a checklist is always useful so that we don't leave things to memory, and at the last minute we're like, okay, we've forgotten to take care of this. Next would be to get some guidance from our doctor in India, if we have a doctor here, to get a regular medical routine checkup done. If we need to carry some medicines with us till the time we understand the medical facility there and how to navigate that, it's always useful to carry your basic medicines as well, and understanding what are the alternatives that one can use. Get your doctor's advice there if there is a need to find those alternatives in the new country. So that's also an important thing to take care of. Of course, if one goes even for a holiday, it's important to have a requirement to have a medical insurance. And it's helpful to find something that's reasonable, at the same time that meets the rules and regulations, the conditions of the country that we are going to, and the specific requirements of the person. So exploring and researching there and finding that as well. Then the other things that one should keep in mind is, so different countries do not allow us to carry specific items on the flight or with us. So understanding that is also very important, because at times that can be a criminal offense. So, for example, poppy seeds is something that can't be taken through while traveling through Middle East, UAE, and that's a criminal offense. So specifics like that always helps us to be better prepared and avoid situations that may arise. Now, these are things to prepare beforehand, of course. And once we've moved, we've done everything, planned, moved, made the transition. When we are in the new country, either if one is traveling alone or with family, it can get lonely. Because one has to, one is used to a certain way of life, and we are thrown into a completely new environment. And we have to navigate everything right from, the basics of how the switches work. They are different. Gas stove works. It's going to be different. The charging points are the cables, will not work. So finding a new adapter that can connect our gadgets and charge them, because the points will not work for our gadgets. So understanding these basic things as well helps us. Then when we are in the new country, it helps us to make ourselves comfortable, unpacking as soon as we can and settling, finding our things at home and placing those things so we can feel more comfortable at home. And of course, one important point is housing. Housing can be a challenging experience, because to find the right place to live, right locality, which is at the right distance from either workplace or from university, can be challenging. So, finding the right people who can help us navigate the housing environment, and how to find the right location, how to find the right place that fits in our budget, also is a process. And one should also have, before coming, one should prepare a budget of the things that one is going to spend on. This can be easily found on the internet, on what the average price of the groceries are going to be, average price of rent, housing, medical insurance, of transportation, of other things that one uses in our regular lives. So getting a budget prepared beforehand to understand how much one is going to need to spend, and how much can one spend depending on our budget, is also helpful in ensuring that we, when we go there, we don't understand. Of course, the currency exchange doesn't happen automatically in our head. So it takes a while. So ensuring that, we don't go over our budget, being prepared with it and being more planned with it helps. Then the other thing is to be able to understand what the transportation system is in the new place. Mostly there'll be buses and trains that help us move around. So understanding where the nearest bus station is, where the nearest train station is, how do we purchase the tickets, if there are monthly or weekly passes available, because these tickets this can be high cost as well. So what are the passes available that we can invest in? If there is an app available that we can download on a phone, so it's easier for us to, purchase those tickets online, and it doesn't require a physical ticket to be purchased every time. So simple things like that helps us, get settled in faster. Then understanding where the nearest grocery store is, or the nearest, what our neighborhood looks like. If we need something, what are those points? Where are those shops that we can go to buy those stuff? And if there is a home delivery option available, and what does our neighborhood look like? How do we go around the neighborhood? So basic things help us to navigate this journey better. Then what are the other things that we can keep in mind? We can look at the medical facility would be an important factor, for example, to understand how does the medical system work, how can you connect to a doctor. Uh, Usually one needs to have a medical insurance in these countries because medical is a huge, very costly. It's very costly, so it can be a huge expense. So being to understand how to approach a doctor, what are the different insurance available, and which one would be more suitable, falls in our budget, as well as takes care of the requirements, the needs if arises, or if there are certain medical conditions currently, takes care of those medical conditions. And this helps in avoiding unseen costs that can arise later or at any point in time. So being prepared for those helps us. And since it's a new country, new place, new environment, and one is trying to understand how the system works, it's always useful to connect with communities. So there's usually an Indian association all the time. And to connect with the Indian association not only helps one celebrate the festivals back, that, not being able to be at home, but getting the opportunity to celebrate those festivals here, exchanging notes on, what has worked, what are the positives and what are the challenges and how to overcome those challenges, getting a guidance on specifics such as, how to sort garbage. So in a lot of these countries, they're very strict about garbage disposal and how one sorts garbage. So plastic goes somewhere else, glass goes somewhere else, and if it's not sorted properly, then there are heavy fines. So, people can help in guiding something as basic as this. And also to know where one can source Indian spices from, for example, where is the best Indian grocery store available, or where one can go and get some Indian food when one is, feeling homesick, or one wants to cook a good home cooked Indian meal at home. So these people will not only help act as a guiding star, but they'll also turn out to be a good support system in a completely new environment, in times of need, when one wants to share their highs and lows, to have fun, to explore the new country. It always helps to build that connection. So find those spaces, opportunities to build those connections either through your workplace, either through, university, either through these associations or platforms where one can network with people. And yes, it is a new environment, as everyone can understand. And adjusting to this new life, understanding how everything works, it can take a toll on the person. So it is important to ensure that the mental well-being is taken care of, and finding time and space to do the things that one enjoys. For example, finding the opportunity to continue our hobbies, or finding a new hobby and working on it, something that keeps us mentally engaged and sane and makes us enjoy and stay connected. And there are also opportunities to connect groups and organizations where one can connect on these specific hobbies. If somebody is interested in art, for example, so there will be opportunities. One can find those on internet or through the connections that one has made, where one can get an opportunity to explore art or practice art, paint, music, anything that one enjoys with people who share those interests and hobbies as well. So finding those spaces is also useful. And one important thing is to stay connected with the people back home, finding, either if it's not possible to do it every day, finding the time to do it every few days, to talk to your family, your friends, to engage in conversations about how this new experience is going. What are the new things that you're learning? What are the new things that you're enjoying? What are the challenges? And the people back home can also provide you guidance and support. And it is a time to connect and feel more comfortable and settled in the new country. And yes, it comes with its own challenges, but at the same time, it pushes us out of our comfort zone. It is an opportunity for us to grow, experience new culture, experience new country, place, food, people. So it is an opportunity for us to learn and grow as well. It can be, we should also look at this as a time to enjoy. We can take out weekends, every few weekends, or once every few months, whenever it's feasible for, you know, depending on each person, to explore this new country, explore this new city, to understand what are the places one can visit, one can enjoy. We're beginning to make friends in this new country. Find opportunities to invite those friends over, to meet them outside, or to travel with them somewhere. These are the opportunities that will help us get more comfortable with the new country and feel better. And yes, it takes time. The process takes time to understand how everything works. It takes time to feel at home. It takes time to build those connections. Everything takes time. And it's important for us to be patient with ourselves as well as with the process, and and make it as an experience to learn and to grow and to enjoy. So I'm open to questions. So if you have any specific questions, and then we can continue the conversation.
Hello, Aditi ji. Meena here. Are you in Northeast Zone or somewhere in USA? Where are you based? If you want to share.
I'm based in Switzerland.
Okay, these days. Okay, all right. Wonderful, very nice session. Just wanted to add few points because I've lived overseas for 30 plus years, maybe more. So, like nowadays it's so easy. These days it's so easy to like come from one place to another and settle beautifully, especially when it comes to America, such a open thing. And now even children and students, they are very well prepared. My niece was here recently, two of my nieces and nephew. So very easy these days. I'm talking about 30, 40 years when we moved to New York and USA. So just wanted to add here that people who come from India as a visitor, or like sometimes they don't know about the fine line. They stay with host family and then they start asking about their finances, about their relationship issues, their children, why they're not getting married, why children are not having children. So these are things that are all right in India. Very comfortably people ask about details of financing. Ghar kitne ka hai, tumhara kitne crore ka ghar hai. Here it doesn't work that way. So I wanted you to add this line also. so many, I've hosted maybe hundreds and hundreds of family people and friends. But first thing they want to know how much I'm earning, how much I've saved, how much my children are earning. And like, I don't think it's that important, like living here. So it's very funny, very awkward, like very awkward to give the numbers, and it's a very private matter. Although by God's grace, everything is good, but it's not all right to share. You disclose all your numbers and all, and they expect that they become comfortable. And so this I wanted you to bring to your attention. Just add this in your notes also.
Yeah.
So mainly this, and nowadays it's very easy because youngsters who are coming to study, they are fluent with language and all, and they have orientation classes over there, friend circle here, and with all the social media, everything is at par. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
one more thing I wanted to add, like if people come here, they think it's like a fashion show. They have to bring lots and lots of clothing, best of matching shoes, jewelry, and all. It's not required. Nobody cares here. You can just have two, three outfit, neutral colors, and you can still get by. So people carry so much of suitcases, and then they have to carry to the steps. Here we don't get help. So
Mm.
just people carry lots of stuff from India, and they talk about, oh, India is this, like they're always comparing. Once you have come to this country, decided to come, just accept it with open heart. And people are very nice. Everybody is so nice. So don't judge them, don't give them opportunity to judge you, and try to gel in as much as possible. Just wanted to add this. And
No,
thank
no.
you, very nice, listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meenaji, for sharing very valid points and sharing your experiences. These are very helpful points to add. Yes, uh, we in India, we are used to a certain kind of life, and we have our support system. We do have help usually at home. But when we move to the West specifically, we have to, a major change is that we have to do everything ourselves, right from, taking care of the house, cooking, groceries, or anything that is needed. So, as Meenaji mentioned, it makes sense for us to carry stuff that we need because we'll have to do it all by ourselves, carry it up through the stairs, through the roads. We'll have to do it ourselves. So, it makes sense to carry only the stuff that we're going to need. With clothing as well, yes, most of the people that you'll meet and see, they usually wear, basics and not too much jewelry and lot those kind of stuff. So yeah, it also helps to be more aligned with them in the new culture. And it's a new culture. People have like to have their personal boundaries, and not everyone likes to share everything. So to to ensure that we're not intruding into somebody's private space or somebody's space is something to keep in mind, and to be open, because we are going to meet people from different cultures, different backgrounds, and they have lived a different way of life than ours. To be it always helps to be uh, tolerable, to learn and enjoy each other's culture and learn from one another. Any other question or point that you'd like to discuss, mention?
I would say if you can share any story, like from, like you had this like experience in any of the countries that you travel, and it was totally unexpected, and how did you manage that?
So different stories. So when I uh, went to the US the first time, I landed in New York and there was a snowstorm. And we were in the aircraft for many hours. We couldn't move because there was snow on the tarmac and at the airport. And I did carry woolens with me. So after the waiting period was over and we got off the aircraft, I did have enough woolen clothes on me, layers and layers, but still it was not enough to face the biting cold. This was early January, so the weather was extremely, wild, and I was freezing once I stepped out of the aircraft, and I was kind of lost. So immediately after, I settled in the new apartment, I went out to buy my, heavy jacket to make myself comfortable. So that experience was like, okay, this is completely new. You land in a snowstorm, and then you have to, understand, okay, yeah, you think, okay, you're carrying the woolen clothes from home, the jackets would be enough, the clothes would be enough. No, it just bites through those clothes, and the chill, you feel the chill inside the bones. So that was an experience, one of the experiences.
Wow. So, what is your advice? Like, if someone else comes in such snowstorm, what should what should they be prepared for? Like, or how they can prepare?
Yes, one is to be mentally prepared. If one is traveling in winter, peak winter, one is to be mentally prepared that such situations can arise, and it can take time. For example, if you're just stranded and you're in the aircraft, be calm and cool that this happens, and this it's to relax and to be prepared, even if those jackets are not available in India. If one cannot find those jackets, it always makes sense to carry or to have those woolen clothes, layers of clothes with us, because they are at least going to keep us warm enough so that we don't fall sick. And if we have people there already, if we know people, for example, to stay connected with them. So if an emergency arises, you can at least be in touch with these people and they can help you out in such situations.
Awesome. Anyone else has any question or feedback?
Yeah, Aditi, I wanted to say, like nowadays, there is a card, like when people are coming from India, it's like a debit card. You get it in, you pay rupees there, and bank people put dollars in that, and then you are here. It's like a tap card, very easy to use, and very safe also. It works everywhere except for Metro card vending machine. So it's very good idea to carry that. It's safe, digital. You keep the record also, and it works. Like my sisters have been traveling and visiting me, and it's very easy for them. They bring it, and then they can tap it anywhere they go for shopping or food or anything. So that's a good idea to carry rather than hard cash. Hard cash is risky. And one more thing I wanted to say, especially when you're visiting places like New York, Chicago, or any other big places in US, and even in that for that matter, London also, that like if there are gangs, they will just come. They find out who is the new traveler and who is the like conscious one. So they will come to you, ask for direction, and out of good gesture, you want to help them. And then they flick the phone away. It has happened with my daughter, and like she was putting, like she was marking for them on the this thing, highlighting it, where to go, which subway to take, and so this can happen with so many people. It has happened in New York also. So don't carry big fancy purses just to show. If you're going to parties and all, it's all right. Indian people do that in the car and all, but not in the subway and all, because they are able to spot you, and then there are chances of pickpocketing and all. So just become very understated type of person when you are traveling, and not carry too much of cash. Yeah, $20 bill is also considered big amount, and carry digital currency and debit cards and credit cards, whatever. credit cards are even safer because this way you're protected. All I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. These are very useful points again. You mentioned about travelers. I think it's called traveler's check or something. I don't remember the exact name of the card that you mentioned.
No traveler's check. This is like a debit card, bank debit card that you get it in India, and it's in dollars. When you use it here, it's considered dollar amount. And you basically don't have to say anything, not conversion or anything, no conversion charge. It's a very good thing. It's very popular. People are bringing it, especially who don't have foreign credit cards. It was beautiful.
Yeah, this can be very, very useful because the exchange rates the conversion rate can be so expensive. Giving an example, suppose the conversion rate will cost you 20 rupees or 30 rupees. If you're not going through these mechanisms through your bank, through the debit card, or through other means, if you're just converting on the spot, they can charge you as much as 200, 300 rupees or even more. So it's always, if one wants to save money, it always makes sense to get these done at home in India beforehand, prior to traveling. And the point about safety, it's a very important and valid point. It's always makes sense to be safe, to understand, it is better to be safe than sorry, to carry stuff that you can handle easily, and be it your baggage, be it your handbag, be it your clothes. Yes, I have another question here. I'm just looking at the chat. How many countries you've visited and which country is best? So I grew up in India, then I was in Indonesia, Nigeria, I was in the US, and now in Europe, Switzerland. I have lived and visited different countries apart from these. Which country do I like the most? So different countries have had left different marks on me. For example, Indonesia is a beautiful country. The people are one of the nicest that you'll meet in the entire world. They really take care. They're very gentle, soft people. They love nature. So it's a beautiful country that I'd love to go back to. Then I'm living in Europe, Switzerland right now. And again, this country is filled with beauty all around. People are, again, very nice. And it also, you learn how efficient things work here. And I can share an example. I went to get a document, and I was at the office, and I needed that document before I was traveling to another country. And I needed to have that document before that. And that document was in process. So I just went to the office to check when was the document expected to be delivered to me. And they said, since you have to travel on so and so date, I'll ensure that you get it delivered before you travel. And I would have had to pay an additional cost to take an additional document to travel to this country, but I didn't require, because the efficiency, they are so efficient. So that was useful.
दोनों लाल वाला भी लगाना पड़ा.
And yeah,
लाल लगा.
yes. Then, of course, I miss home, India, a lot. So I'll miss family. I miss food, the sights and sound. So I always love spending time at home. I find opportunities to go back to India and spend time at home and explore and do the things that I love doing. So, yes. If there are more questions or comments, let me know.
Thank you, Aditi, for sharing such a wonderful experiences that you have had. I think Rajvin wants to share. Rajvin, do you want to say anything? You have to unmute. Can't hear you.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
I in the future, you're from India, right? So in the future, I want to migrate to Philippines. So because my caregiver is from Philippines, I'm very attached to her. So I'm gonna. How do you think one should make adjustments to a new country based on your experience, what you've shared just now? Yeah, I understand positive energy, so much of greenery, and what else?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So
Because
adjusting to a new country may not be easy.
Yes.
It may not be easy. It is going to be very different lifestyle, way of life that we are used to. And right from having a different set of people around,
especially the time difference, I think.
time difference can be challenging as well. So you get used to, you may be jet lagged for a couple of days, but then you get used to the time zone. You get used to that, but navigating the time difference to connect with your family back home or the people
Yeah.
back home
Yeah.
is something that would be something to
So,
manage.
how do you? I really admire you because you have made the adjustments to a new country. So, for me, for me, I'm living in KL. So in future, I might move to another state in Malaysia. Cause Selangor, my house is in Selangor. It's 40 minutes away from here. So because of my sinusitis and all the dust, so probably I have to make adjustments. Especially, I have to detach from the people who make me down. Because if I live in this country, my siblings, I have good parents, good caregivers, and right now I have I have my caregivers needs to take care of me. She's down in Malaysia. I've experienced so much of love this past 1 week since she got back. But I really want to um, go to another state in Malaysia where I can just relax and be peaceful and be calm. So thank you for sharing, Aditi. I just shared my experience with you uh, as a trainer because I'm not working today, but I just have to I just attended one meeting. This meeting, I especially logged in for you, even though I was not well. I woke up late today, missed all my other sessions. Especially, I came in from Navin, Dr. Shabana, uh, Ria, Nupur, and Uday. Really, really nice people. And thank you for sharing. I'll keep that in my mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, Meena ma'am has mentioned thank you, Aditi. I have to leave session. Very nice session. And Uday sir asking why foreigners think about India nowadays.
Mhm. That is so. I mean, we can be the windows to foreigners, for foreigners to learn about our country. So we, in lot of places, we've, for example, my experience has been that through the food, Indian food festivals, that I have invited people over and shared home cooked meals with, Indian meals with, they have learned about a new culture, new food, new festivals, and everybody so far that I've met has enjoyed experiencing this new culture, this new experience. They have, openly, wholeheartedly enjoyed these experiences. So we can be the windows for them to learn about India, and we can make sure that they have a good experience. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, madam.
Anyone else has any question? Ria, do you have any question? Vasanti, Umaji, Neelam?
Ma'am, I would like to ask, since you have mentioned, I mean, thanks for this session today because it's much needed and people actually face a lot of issues in spite of internet and in spite of lot many technology because somewhere because reality is always different, virtual is always different. So, ma'am, and you mentioned your experience also about winters and lot many things. So, ma'am, how do you think you have grown as a person from being in India to a place where you belong to and moving out and staying in different countries? So, what do you think you have learned the positives of the culture? Because somewhere we have the bias that somewhere we have a bias. So, what are the positives that you have learned from the culture, and what are the positives of Indian culture that you have retained in yourself? If you could answer.
Yeah. So thank you for the question, Ria. I think one thing that I have learned of having experienced different cultures is to be tolerant and to immerse myself in the new place that I am in, the new culture I am in, to enjoy the food that the different culture offers, to enjoy the different experiences, for example, how people live their lives, to learn the positives from them. Each culture has its own positives, so we can pick up those positives and inculcate in our lives. At the same time, I've learned that everybody is different, and everybody, right from having a different viewpoint to having a different perspective on life to having different hobbies, to different liking, to different way of life completely. And it's culturally, the more we experience, the more we become more tolerant and to understand that everybody is different and everybody has a right to be different. So that's one important thing that I've learned. And about my own roots, I don't think I have let go of my roots because I'm still very closely attached to my roots. I enjoy be it the festivals, be it the food, be it the clothes, be it the people, everything. I think the culture that I have grown up in, that I grew up with, the people, everything is still close to my heart. So, yeah.
For the answer, I mean, you have balanced it quite well, like about the culture. Yes, like when we are moving to a new country, it's very important to embrace the difference and actually to, I mean, to be together. Yet, like I mean, unity and diversity, and more than that, you learn also about the other culture. So, thank you so much for the answer.
Thank you.
Anyone else, if you would like to ask something and learn from Aditi ma'am.
I think there are no more questions. We are all so happy that you have shared, your wonderful stories. And I think, like, having been to so many countries, I think everyone must travel outside of our countries, wherever we are, because we learn so much. Like, there is a saying, you learn more from traveling rather than
I think, Miss Shabana, I think we all should travel
Yes.
out of our comfort zone once
Yes.
in a while to find peace. Like this morning, I really overslept and I really felt peaceful, so tired. Yeah, after a post-nasal drip. So I mean, finding peace out of our comfort zone is a very good, especially to another country. And I personally will follow Aditi's advice and visit more places, because I actually visited 5 places, So, and I plan to visit Philippines, Manila, and um, I plan to visit Harmandir Sahib, just to find a different environment, just to find, just to find different environment before I win my pageant on the 7th of January. So hopefully with the pageant, I will get to travel more countries. So thank you, Aditi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much. It
Thank
was
you,
a pleasure.
Thank you, Shabana.
Thank you, Rajvin. Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. So it has been really wonderful listening to all of you. And thank you, especially Aditi, and your experiences. And we look forward to hosting you again sometime in future. Very soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank